It's go time. Woo! Let the staffing storm begin. Here we are. It's raining, it's storming everywhere. What's up, Sam?
Rich, it's so good to be here with you, man. It's a wild world out there, isn't it?
It is a wild world, man. When I say storming, it's storming for the last, 3 years. Man, never stop.
Yeah, storm is the new normal in weather, isn't it?
It is. I got to ask you real quick, how you been, man?
I got breath in my lungs. The sun is shining outside. So, work is work. And we do the best we can. We can't always control the outcome. So we just try to do it faithfully each day and find joy in that.
I got to tell you straight up, ASA Central, you're one of the kings on there. I see your postings all the time. Keep it up, brother, man. I love it.
I appreciate it. I find that to be such a great resource. I feel like each year I realize how little I know and how valuable it is to meet other people, learn from their wisdom. ASA Central is one of the great places there. You, my friend, also nonstop, one of the top 10 for the value that you add each year.
Oh, thank you so much for that. I'm very humble, buddy. But today, you ready to jump in? Because I'll tell you what, everybody out there that's watching, we got your life jacket, and you better be ready because Sam's going to bring some knowledge for us, man. Woo!
I don't know about that, but let's do it. Let's do it, man.
I got to tell you, so let's just break this down, Sam. I mean, your company's, definitely in healthcare, all that good stuff. One thing I want to talk about right off the bat is some of these government contracts and stuff like that you see on your end. Let's just break that down, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, government contracting in some ways is thought of as very stable because the purchases are usually for a long duration of time. Government is very mission oriented, which is different from the commercial world in many ways. And so that has sort of been a kind of given. New administration comes in, new priorities. We see contracts canceled. We see strong scrutiny from the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. And that's got a lot of folks in sort of my niche of industry, government focused, a little bit rattled. What's new? What do we plan for? Because I think volatility is not new, whether you're government or commercial. Ups and downs, they happen, right? What's new is thinking, all right, where is the world going? Where are the priorities of our customers going? And I think that's probably true for most of industry regularly. But I think it's been sort of a sea change the last 6 months with those of us who support the government in its important missions. But what is it? Change is nonstop, right?
Oh, especially in the staffing industry. I got to tell you, you've been in it for a long time. And have you seen a change like this in the last 5 years? How it's changing in and out? Huh.
Yeah, and I think it's been interesting to see. If we think of like COVID, that rattled everybody, right? I mean, not only do we all start thinking about our own mortality, how do we run our businesses when we can't be together, but also the needs, especially for healthcare workers, skyrocketed in some areas, plummeted in others. And it was a strange year and a half, 2 years of labor economics, at least, let alone our, public psychology. But now you've got government, where the government's got very different priorities than the last administration. It's got a push in some areas where we're seeing divesting in other areas. So I think for those of us who support government missions, it's been a bit whipsawed to try to make sure we understand where the government's priorities are. At the end of the day, like you said, staffing is still staffing. We're working with human beings and trying to match them, trying to match talent with the available jobs. And I think that's continuing to endure because in so many areas, we're seeing a mismatch where supply and demand just don't match up. And probably nowhere is that as true as in certain areas of healthcare.
Oh, yeah. We got a deep dive into healthcare right now, man. You mentioned the key word. I tell you what, the shortage, what I see on my side, and I don't do much healthcare, Sam. So you're the expert on this, but nurses are bouncing from different places. I mean, I heard during COVID, a lot of traveling nurses and people that actually worked bedside, they were crushing it. I mean, working 90 hours a week, overtime, that's not there anymore. Do you see that some of these healthcare workers are expecting that same income? Because, they went from this to back down to normal.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of that, not very much. I think healthcare workers understand that the market has sort of reoriented. But that said, Richard, there's just these massive structural shifts that are happening with these labor shortages. So I think one area where we see it highly pronounced is behavioral health. And you take the HRSA, which is the Health Resources and Services Administration, and they've been projecting what the gaps are going to be. So like 12 years from now, 2037, they think we'll be short about 80,000 psychologists and
80,000.
yeah, 50,000 psychiatrists, and those are sort of the top of the apex, right? Your privileged providers, but I mean, this is a world where the stigma around seeking mental health care has gone down, which is a great thing. And that means demand for these providers is up. And as we see those shortages on looming, and that's to say nothing of nurses. We all know that many nurses have been leaving the bedside to take other professions or other trajectories. And I mean, it's a reckoning that we're going to need to meet, because as baby boomers age and more care is needed, these needs are still going to be there. We're going to need to find a way to provide it. And is it going to be staffing? Yeah, part of it. Is it going to be changes to the model of healthcare delivery? Maybe. I think a lot of smart health systems and government agencies are looking at that now. What it's like 10 years from now, Richard, I mean, you and I can only dream to predict what's going to happen given this reality.
You know, you said it straight up. I mean, seriously, even like nursing homes. I hear so many nursing homes are going through a big transition with staffing right now. You know, people don't want to work it. There's a shortage. I mean, you know, we're in the baby boomers. I mean, nursing homes are packed these days. So where do we go from this, Sam? Where's a little bit of a solution? Is there anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're thinking, say, 12 years from now that we're going to be 208,000 registered nurses short of what we need, or over 300,000 short in licensed practical nurses, I mean, something's got to change. Something's got to change. And those of us who are in this space where we're competing for talent, we're seeing, you know, obviously these healthcare workers can command a higher premium the more that there's a shortage. But at the end of the day, you know, these payers, these customers, there's only so many dollars to go around. We need to get more nurses, more clinicians into the country working in order to meet the needs that we can all anticipate will come as baby boomers age.
Wow, that's amazing. Because I know I graduated, I'm dating myself, in the 90s, and like nursing was the hottest thing. Like, you know, there were so many nurses, there was overflowing. Now it's like a shortage now. What is your take on that? I mean, and people, I mean, the education, or do you think people just don't want to, you know, like the nurses don't want to work the hours? Is there like something that we can like flip that switch to get it rolling again for the Gen Zs?
Yeah, well, my first take is that the 1990s were awesome and they should be talked about more.
Yes,
but besides that,
good music, by the way, Sam.
Oh, excellent music. I mean, do we have another Nirvana? I don't know, but anyway, you know, to your broader question, there's probably a lot of different inputs that are going to need to be in the system. I mean, labor economics is phenomenally complicated. You know, as we see, like, what is attracting people to go into nursing, and then also, well, not just nursing, really anything in healthcare, and then what will the technological innovations be in a couple of years? I was talking with a guy at this fascinating, innovative health tech company, and he's got this solution where essentially your iPhone becomes like the taker of most of your vitals. Where, like, I mean, Rich, could you have imagined 10 years ago so much of our industry and other industries would be remote? I mean, I couldn't.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but now we're like, oh, proof of concept. Of course it is. Well, why not for healthcare? And I think you see a lot of players investing in the telehealthcare space. Now, what does that do to the staffing, the labor economics of that? I think that's anyone's guess, but could it be that we see more telemedicine and that we have more teleproviders, more telenurses, more tele aides? I don't know, but I think that's definitely going to be part of the mix, and probably a very large part.
You know what's funny as you say that? You know, I'm a personal trainer on the side. Personal training's all online now.
Yes.
Somebody. Is that like insane? Yeah. Like, it's like, so you just pop in something and you do it online. So all these businesses online, and this will trickle down to staffing because you just do it yourself pretty much.
Yeah, that's awesome that you're a personal trainer. Because when I first met you, I was like, man, when I grow up, I want to be like this guy, because you know, you got it together.
If you get a chance, check out my video. I opened up the refrigerator about 3 weeks ago and just told everybody what I eat. So my secrets are out there,
really?
Man.
All right,
check it out. I'll send it to you.
Oh man, that's great. I feel like I'm going to be ashamed. I always try to like check my macros, and I'm like, how do you get this much protein in one day? It's like, anyway. That's not.
I think my energy burns all the calories, and plus all these shows I do. This is like my fourth podcast of the week, so it's just like I just don't stop. You know, I'll sleep when I die.
Oh man, I love it. I love it, man.
But I want to get back to, like, you know, do you think like the burnout, because that's something with healthcare and any industry right now that a lot of people are shifting gears because especially I was just talking to healthcare. I talk to so many nurses just say they're just burnout. They're actually dropping in and coming into staffing or maybe the schools. Do you see that on your side a lot?
Yeah, we have not seen that very much. I think we heard a lot about this phenomenon during COVID when you had these surge needs, and there's certainly something to making sure that scheduling is fair, it's equitable. And I think, I don't know, Richard, this is just like Sam speaking, but I think that we're seeing these adverse mental health outcomes, population wide. And I don't know if it's just more studied or otherwise, but there's been some interesting scholarship around this, particularly with younger people, with authors like Jonathan Haidt, who wrote The Anxious Generation. And there may be something to the way we just choose to take care of ourselves in life. Now, I'm not a clinician. I can't speak to it in any clinical sense, but I mean, I think we all need to practice a good measure of self-care. And I think as staffing companies, we really need to take care of our people and make sure they have the resources. I think most companies are out there making sure that you have an employee assistance program, you have counseling available, you have ways to talk it out and choose the path that's best for you.
I love what you said there. So I got this idea. You ready for this? Staffing support specialist. I think every office should have one. An SSS. It's almost like a social worker to check mental health, everything like that. Get somebody in there that can talk to your contract workers and your internal workers, because they need somebody. Sam, you're the CEO. If somebody has a problem, how many people have to go to you? You're so busy, then you have somebody else take care of it. You might not hear about this for 6 months later. If you have somebody on the ground doing this, I think this would start a lot of like whole retention and a lot of things. So maybe the SSS could be something in the future. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think, Richard, I love where you're going with that. And I think a lot of companies do offer a version of that, and maybe they're not on the ground, but like employee assistance programs are usually offered where you get like free counseling. And I think the more and more we see the stigma from seeking mental health as just sort of a normal routine thing, I think the better we're all going to be. I mean, when you there's no shame in getting your oil changed, right? Or taking care of your vehicle. Of course, it's just expected. And most people will go and do their annual physical. I think mental health is just a part of the picture of the holistic care for self. I mean, we do live in a very anxious time.
And staffing, how staffing is. Recruiters, roller coaster. One day you're having a great day, next day nobody's answering the phone. I mean, that's mental health. When you go home, you're taking that with you because you need to get your KPI and all that good stuff down the road. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done on that. Seriously.
Yeah. No, I think that's true. I mean, being in the people business is it's tough, right? It's not ones and zeros. People act as people act, and it's not always predictable. What I tell my staff is, our goal, we always seek to be fruitful, but what we're going to do, we can't usually control the outcome. So we seek to be faithful. There's a great verse that I think from Ecclesiastes. So like ancient wisdom that really hits me. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11. And I'm going to read it because I'll mess it up if I quote it from memory. I saw that under the sun, the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor the bread to the wise, nor the riches to the intelligent, nor favor to those with knowledge, but time and chance happen to them all. So Richard, it's like time and chance are going to happen to us, and we got to be okay with that, or at least recognize that's real, even as we work to be good at our jobs.
That was deep, man. Thank you for that, man.
I love that verse.
I'm going to write that down and put it on my fridge, brother, man. Thank you for that. Hope other people do too, man. And one thing I got to tell you, you can't knock time. That's one thing we can't fight time, man. It's coming.
Ain't that true?
It is. So I got to ask you, so your team's very successful and stuff like that. And we got this big storm brewing and still here. How are you retaining talent? How are you finding talent? And how about, let's do a little bit about business development. How are you growing? Can you give us a little bit of that strategy?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think the fight for talent in some ways is the same as it ever was. I mean, people value different things, but you got to be able to compensate your talent appropriately and know where the market is. And part of that's also educating your customers. We've had that happen where a customer said, no, we think that nurses should be paid X, and we're like, we appreciate that, but we'll give you our insights into what's happening in the markets and what they command. And when you get customers that understand that this is the way labor markets work, and you partner with them, you educate them so that they understand that really helps you to keep talent. That's part of it. I mean, compensation is part of it, but it's not the whole thing. It's making sure your people feel appreciated. Anytime we hear that let's say a nurse has done a specifically good job, or we had a pediatrics nurse who helped save a child's life in a fairly extraordinary set of circumstances. I mean, I called her because I just want to say thank you for doing your job so well. It's not only good for you, it's good for that patient, it's good for the entire in this case military medicine. So I think it doesn't have to be like huge recognition and with like banner lights, though some people like that. Just let your people know that they're appreciated because they do really good work, and they know that, and it's helpful that they know that you know that.
So true, man. A praise goes so far, or a tap on the back, handshake, hug, whatever it is. I tell people all the time that little going the next level, people enjoy that and they love that. And they want to work for a company that, got a great culture, but also good process too. That.
Oh,
Sam,
yeah.
It's all about the process because that's.
Oh, yeah. I think such a good point, Richard. I feel like I get lots of feedback from friends of my wife who will say, she is such a blessing. I feel so seen and heard when she talks with me. And I think that's just a small example of like people feel when they feel seen and feel understood or see their meaningfulness of their work. Yeah, it's an important part of how, as employers, we want to be engaging with those members of our team.
Got it. Okay, so business development. How do you guys can you give me some secrets on this? Because everybody's trying to chase clients now. They're like, they're on all these Zoom infos, all the other good ones. Is there anything during this storm to get clients?
Yeah, I hate to say not the best person to ask because so much of our work is with U.S. federal agencies, and we usually go through very long RFP and proposal and negotiation processes. So Zoom info is not particularly helpful for us, but some things that may be transferable from the government world to sort of normal commercial staffing world is understanding kind of where the customers are going. So maybe what they need today, but what are they going to need tomorrow? And how do you become a better partner to your customers and helping them think through that, whether or not it's going to advantage your company? And we've done that with some of our federal partners, where we try to understand their pain point. We say, here's what we see happening. Here is something that's available in our industry that may be helpful to you, whether or not we're the right source of that, and just giving them the ideas and understanding what's out there, because our customers, they're all smart people,
yes.
But like us, they've got too many things to do, right? So we can be a value add, not just in the delivery of services after a contract is signed, but in helping them think through it. I think that's good business, and it's just good, just being a good human being to try to help others with their problems if you can.
Exactly. It's all about bringing value. Seriously, when you're out there in the field, what's the number one thing? Can you service it? And I think some people overpromise in our industry. I hate to say it that way, but you know how it is. At the end of the day, you want to connect with them, be like their consultant, help them out.
Oh yeah, I think actually, Rich, this is something you're really well known for, is just coming alongside people and building them up. You mentioned to me that you're the hype man at Aviante, and that's a win-win, right? Because you're not just helping that company, not just yourself, but all the others who are using. And I think as we think of ourselves as givers of value, that's a different mindset than sort of a scarcity mindset that there's a certain amount of business that I must capture. No, it's this abundance mindset that there's so much value we can create, and we should be thinking more about that value creation rather than only about that value capture.
Number one thing, I'm going to say it right now, make everyone else shine. I don't have to shine. I'm already shining because I just love life. But if you do that and you never have a jealous bone in your body, and and other people's opinions is like a piece, can I say it? A poop paper? You know what? It's shit paper. I'll just say it, No, just be in your own lane. And I think, what? At the end of the day in staffing, I think the biggest thing with this storm that we're going to keep navigating through is, find different ways. The thing that worked 2020 is not going to work now. And Sam, something else is AI.
Yeah.
Let's elaborate about AI a little bit, because I'm going to tell you, I'm part of an AI company on the side. I love AI. The shark is AI. You have to embrace AI in staffing. If you don't, what's your take on that, man?
Yeah, I think so. But I think it gets, when you get down to like, what does that mean? That's the harder question. Like, what does that mean for your company? Because you go to any of these trade shows and everyone is now an AI company.
Everybody.
What does that mean? And sometimes it is AI, sometimes it's machine learning. But I think we look at what are our pain points and where are opportunities to create value. And so one of the things that the Arora Group is trying to do is we're trying to create greater value for our candidates. candidates are busy. So someone might apply for a job at 10 p.m. while watching reruns or whatever, Netflix of The Good Wife while eating ice cream. And you want to meet them where they are. Well, we don't have a recruiter on 24/7, but maybe, and this is something we're trying to do, can we build an AI to start engaging with that candidate, learning more about him or her, what he or she wants, helping them to match up with the right opportunities. And so say 8 a.m., the recruiter comes in the morning and they've got a summary of like, hey, Jane was looking for a nursing job in the Cleveland area. Here's her skills. Here are some of the opportunities we have. Maybe these are fits, and allow humans to do what only humans can do, which is really to have that conversation and see what's right for Jane, but be assistive. I think the idea that AI is going to take over, say, recruiting, I think that's overblown.
Never. It's not totally going to take over. No, yeah. I mean,
but
they thought the internet was going to take over jobs too. I mean, at the end of the day, it helped jobs, I mean, here's a good story. Gary Vee back in the day said farming with the tractor. Back in the day, they said tractor is going to kill farming. All it did was enhance it, right? Same scenario now. AI is going to make us smarter. We're all going to be super genius, no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, and there's this great and maybe apocryphal story of like, what was it, the late 1800s, when they thought cities were going to be unsustainable because the amount of manure that horses left on the streets, and like, we're not going to be able to live in cities anymore. Well, fast forward a couple of decades, and we have automobiles, and everything is different. And so maybe this is that moment, that automobile moment, or insert your other metaphor here, but it will transform virtually every knowledge-based industry, and we're definitely seeing it in staffing already. I would just say, I'm on the ASA's tech task force, and one of the conversations we had earlier this year was kind of like, what's real versus what's vaporware? And I think that takes a discerning staffing firm to find out, and we'll see 5 years from now, we're going to look back and be like, 2025, how quaint.
It was. I got to tell you, the voice AI is one of the best things ever to source candidates and talk to them. I mean, it's so realistic there. It can even put my voice in like I'm a Yinzer from Pittsburgh and put the sling slang, and I'm like, holy cow, is that the shark or is that AI doing it? But I mean, it's coming to that point now where if you start with the voice AI as the sourcing, which, nobody wants to source anymore. I mean, that's a tedious job. And then I can get on the phone in the morning, like you said, and entertain them with a call while I'm drinking my coffee and try to get them a job. I mean, so it's saving us time and money. So, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you just got to be cautious because everything's AI. Just don't buy everything, do your reviews.
Yeah. And I think transparency is key for anyone utilizing AI to talk with candidates or I guess customers, but I think the focus is really on candidates now. Just be very transparent that that's what this is, because there are going to be people who are turned off by it. There are going to be people who are totally fine with it. A month ago or so, I had to get an HVAC repair. And so I fill out the lead form on the website, and I immediately start getting texted from an AI chatbot, and I loved it. I loved it because maybe it's I'm a geriatric millennial and I'm okay with that, and I always want to schedule my thing. But I was talking with actually Amanda Alexander, who is the ASA's National Staffing Employee of the Year last year, or this year rather, and she was an Arora Group employee. We're very proud of her. She said on a panel at last year's Staffing World, she's like, I'm a psychologist. I don't want AI talking to me. And she said maybe it's her generation as a Gen Xer. So I think we just have to be mindful that we're going to meet people where they are. You got to meet people where they are.
You got to. And last thing about AI, it's not just in staffing, it's the world. We have to adapt to it. I mean, AI is going to be, our hamburger, before you know it's going to be made robotic, McDonald's, which might be a good thing because I'll get an actual burger with everything on it. Because I have to say, fast food never, when you open it up, it's like, oh, where's the meat at?
Who knows? I mean, we're living through history, aren't we?
Oh, it's something. It's But I will say one thing, Sam. Anybody that's like sort of our age, 80s and 90s, we're pretty damn good.
Nah, I love it. I love it.
I know, man. My eyes are burning. Maybe it's the AI. It's kicking me in high gear now. Whew. But one thing I want to talk about is immigration here. So what's your take on that?
There's a lot of interest right now in sort of enforcement of the current laws and removal. I think it's just as we're contending with it in a staffing sense. I know a lot of those, particularly who work in like light industrial, are concerned about how to interact with the government. And I think it's so early and it's so new, and we're trying to adapt to what this administration's doing. I mean, there's a lot of concern out there too, because I think there's politics of it, which are very thorny, but there's also just how do we treat all of our people as human beings and be good employers. I think this is something that all of us are thinking about.
Exactly. And I think immigration will hit it's hitting staffing right now. It's going to hit a little bit harder, but it's somewhere where we have to adapt to that. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of places in Texas, Arizona, I think they're getting a hit, with these big logistics centers and stuff like that, where there's a lot of immigration workers. But I mean, at the end of the day, we'll get through it. I mean, I think at the end of the day, what you need to do is just not complain, see what the government's going to do, and see how we can adapt to make it. I mean, there'll be enough people out there to take care of the business, I think.
Yeah, and I think to your point, I mean, I don't mean to make this sort of like dispassionate about labor economics, but fundamentally, when you take a lot of workers out of the workforce, if that's what's going to happen, I mean, our economy is going to react, and it's going to need workers. I mean, there's just not enough workers in a lot of industries that are being targeted right now, and that's something that could be impactful in a macroeconomic sense to our country. It's certainly going to impact individual businesses. And maybe there are firms that are able to help. Maybe not. We're just going to have to see.
I know, man. This storm keeps brewing. One day we're going to have sunny skies. You know that, Sam. I keep saying that. We thought 25 was going to be sunny skies, and it's not, but I think 26 might be. I think our storm, the eye, I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's over. I think we're on a tail end now. I don't know what your take on that, because it's like we got hit pretty hard in the beginning of 25. We thought it was going to be that breakout year.
Yeah, I don't know. I certainly can say with the greatest confidence that I don't know. I think some of the things that are happening in the economy right now, we just don't know what the impacts are going to be. For example, our tariffs, once all the trade negotiations are done, how impactful are they going to be to the companies that sell goods that have imported parts to them? If it's significant, well, are they gonna absorb the impact, or is it passed on to consumers? Either way, there's going to be less money flowing in the economy, is what economists predict. And so, what does that do in our industry? I think the impacts are not yet known, but I don't know, Richard. I mean, the storm may end on the east side and start on the west. Time and chance happen to them all.
It is. Just hang on. Before we wrap things up here, I mean, is there any takes out there? I mean, the storm's brewing, of course, but is there anything out there that you think that some of these staffing firms right now, I mean, the ones I talk to, everybody is positive, but more negative. They're like, oh man, I'm down. How I can pull through the third and fourth quarter? I'm a firm believer that, the third's already here. Fourth is coming up, it's coming up quickly. So I think you just got to weather that storm and get ready for 26 now. I mean, seriously, just see if you can keep your head above water here. Is there any advice you'd give any of the staffing owners out there, how to the next couple quarters, how to get through it?
Yeah. I mean, my advice would be less so about anything operationally in business, but just like fighting for joy in those moments where it seems hard, because life is hard. Whether or not you're running a firm as a CEO, or you're part of a firm, or you're just a human being living life. Life is hard. And I would say when storms come, you fight for being rooted in what you're about. And if what you're about is your career or this quarter's success, well then, brother and sister, your emotions are just going to go up and down with what happens. And so I think it's important to just be rooted in something. And everyone's got something. For me, it's my faith. And it's just to be rooted in that, understand that I cannot control the outcome, but my job is to be faithful in every decision I make and how I treat every other human being I come encounter, and just like leave it on that, and move forward faithfully like that.
100%. Okay, so we're going to give a plug about your company right now. So Staffing World's coming up. You're going to be there, right?
Yeah. I'm doing a panel for the first time. Pretty excited about it.
Oh, break it down. What kind of panel are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing a panel with my friends Ken Todden and Tammy Hester, and we're going to just talk about what it's like to operate serving federal customers, what it means to staff the government. So we're just going to remove some of the complication from that, talk a little bit about what it takes to do that sort of work. But I think Staffing World, it's just been a great resource to me to learn. So I'm super excited to be there. That's where you and I met. So I feel like every time I meet someone smart like you, my blinders become a little bit wider. I get to know a little bit more of our industry and the world.
Well, just let you know, I'm in the gym 7 days a week now, getting pumped up for Staffing World. So this might be the biggest year ever for me.
Excellent. I love it.
And also, you guys are going to be honored with an award this year, right?
Well, we got the National Staffing Employee of the Year. They gave the award last year. It's for 2025 for Dr. Anderson. Amanda Anderson, just a word on her. She is a psychologist who works with pararescue in Europe. So she trains those people who jump behind enemy lines to rescue stranded troops and gets their head ready to do it. Just an amazing individual. And so the speech she gave last year was phenomenal, and we couldn't be more proud of her. We're just looking forward to attend this year and see everybody, see what's new in staffing, and learn what we can learn.
That's right. And the life jackets will be flying. The storm's not over yet, but we're hanging on all together because it's all about teamwork, right, Sam?
Amen.
You got it, buddy. And before we go, if you guys get a chance, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We get guests like Sam and everybody else out there, making everybody shine in the industry. Hey, brother Sam, thank you so much, man, for coming on, buddy. I got to tell you, man, this has been a great show, and like I say, praise and just be positive, man. That's the whole key, man. Stay positive, peeps. And if you guys ever need a shout out, Sam, where can they reach you at real quick, man? LinkedIn, where else?
Yeah, you can hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active there. Happy to connect with folks and just keep the conversation going.
All right, my friends, we will see you at Staffing World. Remember, stay positive, friends. Take care, guys.